Welcome to the Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity's SWaM certification tutorial. In this video, you will learn about the Commonwealth of Virginia SWaM program, including the benefits of the program and how to become SWaM certified. First, let's talk about what the SWaM program is. The SWaM program is a Commonwealth small business program that was created to enhance procurement opportunities for small, women, and minority-owned businesses participating in state-funded projects. It was created in August 2006 when Governor Tim Kaine signed Executive Order Number 33, which focused on enhancing business opportunities for small, women, and minority-owned businesses, and set a 40% goal of purchases from SWaM businesses for the Commonwealth. In July 2014, Governor Terrence McAuliffe signed Executive Order Number 20, which set a new target goal of 42% of purchases from SWaM businesses for the Commonwealth, and created the microbusiness program. In July 2019, Governor Ralph Northam signed Executive Order Number 35, which continued the goal to 42% of purchases from SWaM businesses for the Commonwealth and the microbusiness program. In addition, it set a goal of 50% subcontracting to small businesses on all new capital outlay construction solicitations and mandated a disparity study on women and minority-owned businesses' participation in the Commonwealth's procurement transactions. So as you can tell, the Commonwealth is committed to contracting with SWaM businesses. SWaM certification can help your business take advantage of these contracting opportunities. Next, let's go over the designations of SWaM certification. First, we have a small business. A small business is a business that is at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more individuals who are U.S. citizens or legal resident aliens, and together with its affiliates, has no more than 250 employees or average gross receipts over the most recent 3-year period of no more than $10 million. Next, we have a woman-owned business. A woman-owned business is a business that is at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more women who are U.S. citizens or legal resident aliens, and both the management and daily operations are controlled by one or more women. A minority-owned business is a business that is at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more minority individuals who are U.S. citizens or legal resident aliens, and both the management and daily operations are controlled by one or more minority individuals, or any historically Black college or university. Next, we have a service-disabled veteran. A service-disabled veteran-owned business is a business that is at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more service-disabled veterans who are U.S. citizens or legal resident aliens, and both the management and daily operations are controlled by one or more service-disabled veterans. A microbusiness is a business that is first certified as a small business in the SWaM program and has no more than 25 employees and average gross receipts of no more than $3 million over the most recent 3-year period. Next, we have an ESO, which is an employment service organization. An ESO is an employment service organization that provides community-based employment services to individuals with disabilities. In addition to these designations, we also recognize certain federal designations. The first federally recognized designation is an 8A business. This is a business that has been certified as an 8A by the Small Business Administration. We also recognize federal service-disabled veterans. These businesses have been certified as federal service-disabled veterans by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. Next, we recognize economically disadvantaged women-owned small businesses that have been certified by the U.S. Small Business Administration. If your business is federally certified in one of these certification programs, you can apply for SWaM certification and be recognized as such, and have access to the SWaM program. Hi, my name is Vernice Love, and I'm the Director of SWaM Certification with the Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity. Today, we will be talking about the SWaM certification process, how to apply for certification, and the documents required. First, we'll talk about the documents that should be submitted with the SWaM application. The first document that is required is the proof of U.S. citizenship or permanent residency for the business owners who make up at least 51% of the company's ownership. These documents are required for all owners who make up at least 51% of the company's ownership. It should be submitted in the form of a DMV license and either a U.S. passport or birth certificate, permanent resident card, or certificate of naturalization. Next, we require a complete copy of the federal business tax return from the most recent year and the first page of the tax return from the previous 2 years. This is required for the firm applying for certification and all of its affiliates. An affiliate is a business that is owned by one or more of the owners of the company applying for certification. So if an owner of the business who is applying for certification also owns other businesses, the tax returns for those businesses would be required to be submitted with the SWaM application. For sole proprietors and single member LLCs that file Schedule C with their 1040, they must submit a complete copy of the 1040, including all schedules and statements for the most recent year. For the 2 previous years, they are required to submit the first page of the 1040 along with the Schedule C. Next, we require the first page of the Form 941 for the most recent 4 quarters. This is also required for the company applying for certification as well as any of its affiliates. If the firm has no employees, then it is acceptable if the owner sends a signed statement stating that the company has no employees. Next, we require documented proof of contributions used to acquire ownership for all of the owners within the company. This includes both sides of canceled checks or receipts, bank statements, loan agreements, or any other financial documentation that will show how the owner acquired his or her ownership within the business. If the business is more than 5 years old, a signed statement that describes each owner's personal investment is acceptable. Next, we require a resume of the owners and officers of the companies. The resumes must be detailed in chronological order and includes places of ownership or employment with corresponding dates. This documentation helps us determine the owner's experience and background in the company's line of work. Next, all applicants are required to submit copies of professional licenses and permits, including licenses and permits held by the business, its owners, and its officers. So those documents are required of all applicants applying for SWaM certification. In addition to those documents, there are certain documents that are required based on the business's structure. For corporations, we require that you submit the certificate of incorporation. This document comes from the Virginia State Corporation Commission or your local Secretary of State in your state. In addition to the certificate, we require the articles of incorporations and any amendments. The corporate bylaws and any amendments are also required, which are the legal governing document of a corporation and outline who the shareholders, directors, and officers are of the company. Next, we require the minutes from the most recent stockholder meeting, as well as the minutes from the most recent board of directors meeting. We also require both sides of the stock certificates and a stock ledger, which will tell us who the stockholders are of the company. For LLCs, we require their certificate of organization, as well as the articles of organization and any amendments. We also require an operating agreement for multi-member LLCs. If you are a single member LLC and you do not have an operating agreement, a signed statement indicating that is sufficient. For sole proprietors, we ask for a copy of the current business license if your locality requires that you have a business license. And if the sole proprietor is operating under a DBA or fictitious name, we do ask for the certificate of assumed or fictitious name. For franchises, we ask for a copy of the franchise agreement. It has to be a complete copy of the franchise agreement, including all pages. For partnerships, we ask for a complete copy of the partnership agreement. And for new businesses who are just starting, a copy of the IRS EIN letter that assigns your company its EIN is also required. For new applicants or applicants who have never used the electronic system before, you would be required to register and create an account. In order to do so, you would click the register button, enter your full name, select a username and password, and enter your email address. Once you've done so, you would click the register button, which would then send an email to your email address asking you to confirm your account. Once you have confirmed your account, you can then log into the system to begin the application process. Once you're logged in, this is the screen that you will see. Here, to begin the application process, you will click link/new application. If you have never applied for SWaM certification before, it's going to ask for your EIN number. And I'm going to make up a random number and click next. It says application with the specified federal EIN does not exist. So that's letting you know that you have not started an application in the system. Do you want to start a new application? You would click yes. This will begin the application process. The first part of the application is designations and business type. These list all of the designations that you can apply for certification. We have small, micro, and women-owned. I'm going to apply for those designations. Next, you will select the type of business that you are. So if you're a corporation, LLC, sole proprietor, whatever structure your business is, you would select. Under the general information section, you're going to be entering information about your business. Address, legal name, your EIN is already entered from when you previously entered it on the first screen. If you are not doing business as or trading as a name other than your legal business name, leave the trade name field blank. Next, you would enter your address, the company's physical address. Here, it's important that you allow Google to search for your address, and once your address populates, you click on it so that the fields are populated for you. So as you can see, once the address came up, I clicked on it and it filled in the spaces for me. If your mailing address is the same as your physical address, you can check the box and it will populate it for you. If not, then you can enter a PO box or another mailing address that may be different. Next, if your business is registered with EVA, click yes. If not, click no. Being registered with EVA is not a requirement for SWaM certification. So if you are not registered with EVA, you can answer no and continue the application process. You should say yes if you are an LLC or corporation. If you are a sole proprietor, then you are not required to register with the State Corporation Commission, so you can answer no. Is your business a franchise? I'm going to say no because I'm not. If you answer yes, then you will be required to upload the franchise agreement. If your business has a website, you can enter it here. If you have a DUNS number, you can also enter it there. Those are not required fields, so you do not have to enter anything there. All of the fields that have an asterisk beside it are required, so you cannot leave them blank or else the application will not allow you to proceed. Next, we would enter contact information. This can be anyone in the business. It does not have to be the business owner. This is important because when we send correspondence regarding your application or your certification, all of our communications come via email. So the contact person or people that are listed in this section will be receiving the emails from our agency. So if you have a secretary or business manager, or if you as the president or owner of the business would like to receive the information, make sure your information is listed here. It is required that you enter an email address. Again, all of our information and correspondences are sent via email, so it's important that you have your email address entered. Would you like to receive marketing emails? Yes or no. And then if you need to enter or add another contact person, you can do so. You can click the plus and that'll allow you to add another person. If not, you can click the trash can to delete it. The next field is the tax information section. We are asking for you to enter the gross receipts for the company for the last 3 years, which will be verified based on the company's tax returns that are required to be submitted with the application. Enter the number of employees. If you have no employees, you can enter 0. You're required to enter the year your business was established, and gross receipts for the most recent 3 years. Please do not enter any cents into the gross receipts field, round to the nearest dollar. The next section is the ownership section. This is where all owners of the business should be listed. The owner's full name is required, ownership percentage, ethnicity, gender, and address. Once you have entered all of the owner's information, it's going to ask if any of the owners have more than 10% ownership in any other firm. This is where we get into the affiliates. If an owner owns more than 10% of any other business, then it will be required that the owner provide that business's tax returns with the application. Next, under corporation details, this is only required for corporations. You are required to enter the number of shares that the company is authorized, the number of shares that the company has issued, how many shares have been issued to minorities, and how many shares have been issued to non-minority women. So I'm just going through the application, answering all of the questions, entering the information that's asked. The directors, you are required to enter the total number of directors of the corporation. If there's only one, then you would enter yourself and list your information or the information of the director. And if there is more than one board member, you would be required to list them here by clicking the plus sign and adding another board member. Who is responsible for the daily operations? This is important and is a required field, so please list the person's name who is required. The daily operations field is required. Please enter the name of the person who is responsible for the daily operation and control of the business. If it's more than one, then you can click the plus sign to add another operations person. The corporation details, we're asking for the year the business was incorporated and the person who's listed as the company's registered agent. That could be yourself, it could be a law firm, whomever is listed as your registered agent for the company. The next part of the application is the NGP Codes. This section lets us know the business's category and the services that the business provides. I'm going to say building supplies, and once you get down to the section where you are entering the codes, you would start clicking Once you get to the section where you enter the codes, you can search by keyword or the actual NIGP code if you know the number. If you are consulting, you can start typing consulting and it will pre-populate with all of the NIGP codes that contain the word consulting in its description. Once you have found your code, click on it and it will populate in the sections for you. If you have more than one NIGP code, you can click the plus sign to add another product line or service. There is no limit on the number of NIGP codes that can be listed on the application. Next, select the geographic marketing area. So this is the area where your company operates. If you're willing to travel or do business statewide, you can click statewide. Or if there are certain areas of the state where you're looking to do business, please select those specific areas. If your business accepts charge cards, you can answer yes. If not, answer no. The last section of the application is the FOIA exemption, which is the Freedom of Information Act. This allows us to protect your information and not share it with outside individuals. If you are requesting an exemption from the FOIA, you can select exemption is requested. Your information is kept safe and confidential with our agency and is not shared outside of our agency. So as you can see, when I click next, I got an error message that says it looks like your application is not completely filled out yet. That means that I may have missed a section in the application and it would be notated in red. So as I scroll back through the application to see what I missed. So after finding the field that I left blank, I have now entered the information into that field and I should be able to click next and it will allow me to get to the next section of the application, which is the section where you upload the documents. Here you will see all of the documents that are listed as required for your business. A document must be uploaded in every space in order for the application to be submitted. If you feel that there is something that does not apply to you or you have questions about the documents, please feel free to give our office a call instead of submitting just a random document. Once you have uploaded everything into its respective space, you will see that down at the bottom there's a miscellaneous document section. This section can be used to submit documents that are not listed as required but may provide additional information about your application. For example, if there has been an ownership change or something that has changed in your business since the latest tax return was filed, you can provide that documentation here in the miscellaneous section. You would click the plus sign, which would then open a field. It's going to ask for the title of the document. So in our example, I said ownership change. So I'm going to name it ownership change and click the save button. That will save the name of my document, at which time I can then upload my documents relevant to the ownership change in the spot. Okay, so this is the page where we upload all of the required documents. As you can see, each document has its own space for uploading. You must upload a document in each space in order to submit the application. Here I've uploaded all documents but one. So if I click the next button, it will tell me that it's mandatory that I upload all of the documents. So I'll click close, and upload the last document that's required. And now that all the documents are uploaded, I can click next and it'll take me to the affidavit. This affidavit is required to be signed by the owner of the company. In this affidavit, you are attesting that the information that was provided in the application is accurate and true. You would type the name of the owner. The date is already pre-filled. And on this line, you type the name and title or position, whether it's president, and then you click the box to check I declare under penalty of perjury that the information provided in this application and supporting documents is true and correct. You click the Save button and the affidavit is downloaded into the application. Once the affidavit has been saved, you can then submit the application. You will receive a confirmation that the application has been submitted. You click Close, and then it'll take you to the certification review process. This screen allows you to keep track of where your application is within the process, whether it's been assigned to a certification officer, if it's under review, or if a request for documentation has been made. You can always log into your account after submitting the application to see where the application is in the process. Let's talk recertification. If your business was approved for SWaM certification before July 1st, 2017, then your certification was valid for 3 years. In order to recertify, your business must first register in the certification portal. For example, if your certification expired in May of 2019, you would need to first register in the portal in order to apply for recertification. If your business was approved for SWaM certification on or after July 1st, 2017, then you would need to log into your account in the certification portal in order to recertify. Now let's go to the certification portal. Okay, so I am logged into my account. Here you can see an application that has already been submitted. However, if this is your first time accessing the system, then you would first need to link your application. Click the Link/New Application button in the upper right-hand corner and enter your company's EIN or Social Security number. Click the Next button and it will ask for your certification number. This is a number that was issued to you when your company first applied for SWaM certification. If you do not know or remember your certification number, you can contact our office and we'll be happy to provide it to you. Once you have your certification number, enter it into the field and click Link. You will receive a message that says we have found your application. You can view it in your dashboard. After clicking Close, you will see that the application has populated in your dashboard. Your designations are listed as expired and your expiration date is listed as February 1st, 2020. In order to begin the recertification process, you would click on the company's name, which will take you to the certification review process. In the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the words Recertify SWaM. Click on that button to begin the recertification process. Once you click the button, you will see a message that says your application for recertification will be subject to approval from a certification officer. Click OK. Now you are in the application, which you can see is already pre-filled from the information from your previous certification application. If any of the information there needs to be changed or updated, please do so before submitting the application. Be sure to go to the tax information section to enter the gross receipts for your company from the most recent 3 years. Once you have verified that the information is accurate and up to date, you can click the Next button to proceed to the document upload section. Here you will see where all documents are required to be uploaded in order to submit the application. If you are applying for certification for the first time in this system, even if you're recertifying, you will be required to go through the full application process and provide all documents. Now that all documents have been uploaded, you can click the Next button to proceed to the affidavit. This affidavit needs to be completed and signed by the owner. The affidavit is attesting that the information in the application is accurate and true. The owner must type his or her name. The date is already populated, and below, type his or her name and title. Then check the box to declare that the information in the application is true and correct. Once you've done so, click the Save button and the affidavit will be saved in your application. You can then click the Resubmit button to submit the application, and it will tell you that your application has been added to the queue for processing. After you have submitted your application, you will be taken to the certification review process. This screen will tell you where your application is in the review process. It lets you know when your application has been assigned to a certification officer, if it is under review, and if any additional information is needed. Once your application has been submitted and is in review by a certification officer, you will receive an email providing you with additional information on where your application is in the process. If additional information is required in order to complete the application review process, please log into your account to upload the additional information that was requested by the certification officer. Once the information is uploaded, please resubmit your application so that the certification officer can review it. The SWaM program was created to enhance procurement opportunities for small, women-owned, and minority-owned businesses. If you have questions or need assistance with the application process, please contact us.